Hello everyone and welcome to my new series, How to UEFN, in which I'll explain various mechanics in UEFN. So today we're going to cover how to make a fully functional shop UI in UEFN without any verse. And if you're quick, you can actually do this in under 20 minutes by yourself. But with all that said, we're going to start right away. Okay, once we're in here, I'm going to actually start to get my items in here first. So the items you want to put into your shop, the UI elements you want to have in here, I'm going to put that into the beginning because it's easier later on. You can just drag them in. Okay, next I'm going to go to Fortnite, Devices, and then UI. And we are going to use the pop-up dialog device. The pop-up dialog device is where everything works through. This is the reason why we don't need verse, because basically everything works on this device and we're just going to override some visuals and values. But first I'm going to change 2 buttons to 4 buttons. But it depends. If you want more buttons, you can do more. Back then it was only 6 buttons, but now they added 12, so you can actually do a lot of things with it still. Then go to your content drawer, into your overall folder, and right-click, user interface, widget blueprint, and choose the second option, the model dialog variant. This will end up shop UI element. Then, before we do anything else, click in your pop-up dialog device again and scroll down, and then select the shop UI element we just made. Now you can open that up. And here we're gonna start with a canvas panel, which will basically be the entire screen of our player. And then we're gonna add a button loud, and we're gonna change the message to by item. Make it a bit bigger, and Control D to duplicate it. So we have 3 buttons for 3 items. Now I recommend you to rename every single one of these buttons so you know later on which one is which. I'm just going to do that real quick. Since I have weapons, I'm just going to name the first part what kind of weapon it is. Okay, once we have that, we're just I'm going to center this real quick. And then we can add in our images. It's always going to be stretched like this. So to fix this, just go down here to scale. And 2.5 always worked for me. And up here to make it a bit bigger, I'm doing times 2.5. There we go. And now you can just duplicate this again. Now you can change the image easily in here to the other images you have. So for me it's pump and SMG. There we go. I'm also going to add a UEFN button quiet. I don't really know the difference between quiet and loud, but it's nice to have a little contrast between them because this is going to be the exit button. So just type in exit, and I'm also going to add a text block. Scroll down and center it, and I also want it to be a bit bigger. So I think 3 will work. We'll call this shop. You can save this. Oh yeah, and if you get an error, it's nothing bad, trust me. Just clear this, and what we can do already is make the buttons functional. So just click on your button and then on View Bindings, Add Widget, and then you have to click on this arrow first, one way to View Model, then click on here and Conversion Functions, and Get Response Button 1. This Response Button 1 will be the button of our device, so everything will be triggered through the device button, which will be linked to the button in our UI element. So just click on here and click on Creative Model Dialog View Model, and scroll down till you see Response, select that, click on here, and go into the hierarchy of our UI, and just click on the button, which you just clicked on, which is Rifle for me, and then click on Click Event. And this button basically already works. We're going to do the same thing for all of these buttons. So button 2, View Bindings, Add Widget, change to one way to View Model, Conversion Functions, this time Response Button 2 because it's the second button, select, click in here, scroll down, Response, and then select the button we just have. And lastly, Click Event. Do that again. One way to View Model, Conversion Functions, button 3, select, Response, select, SMG, and click event. One last time for our exit button. So our buttons actually work now. The only thing we have to do is change some settings in our pop-up dialog device and add a few new devices to actually make the buying process. But for the UI, this is basically done. We don't need anything else. Obviously, you can make this a bit more pretty than I did right now. So I'm going to go into a session now, and I'm going to do the rest in there. And you'll see everything from now on will be easy. I'm going to go out of this, and I'm going to add a button so we can open the UI. Same as a conditional button. And we also need an item granter. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to launch a session and finish it in 1.0. So what we have to do, just to open up the UI, go in here on interact, pop-up dialog device, and then show, and to make sure it happens, I'm going to also enable it. After we did that, we can move on to the conditional button. There's only one thing we have to change in the conditional button, which is the price for each item. If you scroll down, you can see here, key items required. Now, right now it's using the stack size, so whatever amount of items you put into the device, it will use that. But I want to set price, which can put in 100 for now. And for the currency, I'm using the basic gold, just for the simplicity of the video. Just get gold and then drop it in. Then just duplicate that 2 times. Give each of them the name of your item that belongs to it. So I'm just going to type in G, pump, and rifle. So now we have to link those to a pop-up dialog device. So we're going to go in here and do on responding button 1. We send this to rifle, which is our button 1 in our UI element. And click on activate. And I'm also going to enable it. So for button 2, you do the same thing for pump. And finally for button 3, which is our SMG, enable and activate. Also make sure that the default back button is button number 4, at least if you have the same UI as me. If you have more buttons, you have to know which one it is. Then also scroll down to the very end, and I'm going to activate do not close on button press. Next we're going to use our item granter, and you have to make sure that it doesn't have clear inventory on, because if the item gets granted, then it will whiteboard your entire inventory. So just put the setting on keep all, click OK. Also I'm going to activate equip granted item, so I think it just looks better if you then get your item into your inventory. And just copy that 2 more times. Make sure you've got enough space between. Then you're just going to get your items. Then just drop them in one by one. Or not. Excuse me, making a tutorial here. Thank you. And then just rename your item granters the same way you did with your conditional buttons. So some G, pump, and rifle. You can put them closer together now too. And one last thing we have to do is go into each of these conditional buttons and trigger the item granter once it has been approved that the player has enough coins. So in my rifle conditional button on activated, I'm gonna put in the rifle item granter and grant item. Then just do the same thing for your pump or whatever item you're gonna use. On activated, item granter, and then grant item. Lastly, for the SMG, grant item. Now everything should already work. That was it. There's nothing more to it. If you want one thing though, to make it a bit more interesting, and that's to get a hot message device. And type in here, not enough gold. 1 second. I'm gonna make this top center. I think I'm just gonna leave everything like this. Text color, we can make this red. Then go back to your conditional items, and on not enough items, gonna go and get the hot message device and click on show. Same for here, hot message device and show. And here. So if you don't have enough gold, then the hot message device will tell us you don't have enough gold. If you want, you can also set a different price for each of these items. So I could go in here and the pump, 200 gold. I don't know, the SMG, 150. So we're gonna see now everything works how we want it to be. Okay, the message is placed a bit badly, but you guys see the vision, okay? But yeah, the exit button works, and we can click on everything. So if we exit this and get our gold, we'll see that everything works how we want it to. And if I buy more than what I can carry, it will just drop on the floor. Also, there's one thing we can still do. If we go back into our UI, we can also type in here how much each weapon costs. You can do this and many other things to improve your map. And I also have these 3 designs for the background of your shop UI that you can download for free on my Discord. You can drag them in from your content drawer just like that. And with that said, I hope the video helped you. And if it did, consider leaving a like. And if you want to support me, subscribe to my channel, it would help me a lot. And I'll see you in the next one.